Wolf, do you remember the name Drew Stanton?
Yeah, I do, as a matter of fact.
Let's see, you called every one of his Cardinals games.
Yeah.
He said on the Big Red Rage last week that as soon as he heard about the signing of Jacoby Brissett, he sent the front office a text message congratulating them on what he called an A-plus hire.
Wow.
And how it shows a real commitment to the room, the team, the offense. And Jacoby Brissett joins us now on Arizona Sports. Paul Calvisi, Ron Wolfey, a new QB2 in town. Jacoby, welcome. Have you gotten to reacquaint yourself with any Arizona golf so far in the month of March? Have you been able to enjoy that yet?
Not as much. I went up there to sign, and then I'm back in Florida right now. So I'm looking forward to that when I get back out there, and hopefully I get a chance to get out and experience a lot of these golf courses that I've been seeing all around.
Jacoby, I want to go big picture with you to start here, and I hope you're not offended by this, but 9 years in the league right now, what have you learned about yourself, Jacoby, in those 9 years?
Just patience, really. Patience, and I would say, just forcing myself and teaching myself how to constantly be ready for whatever the situation it may be, or whenever my opportunity comes. I think been in this league 9 years and bounced around through a lot of teams, and I think patience has been one of the main things that I've tried to, hold dear to myself, just because of, where I see myself. It may not be my situation at the time or throughout my career, but, just sticking to what I know and just falling back on my values and core beliefs of what got me to this point. And, and I think those things have carried me through.
For example, Week 8 last season, Drake May leaves the game with injury. You entered in the second quarter, and by the fourth quarter, you're leading 2 scoring drives, including a game-winning 12-play drive, right, and a 2-point conversion, and the Patriots beat the Jets. In that moment, when you're going in, out of nowhere, how equipped do you feel, and what are you telling yourself? What is your mindset in that moment?
I think my mindset is honestly to go out there and try to win the game. But it wasn't as if the moment was too big for me. Just a series of events that honestly led to that point throughout the year prior to it, to where I thought, I still wanted to give myself a chance to play good football, and just, like I said, when I said earlier, it's just never know when my opportunity may come, that was one of the cases where, things probably haven't gone my way throughout the beginning of the year. And something unfortunate like that happens and you get your opportunity again. You got to go out there and try to make the most of it. So my whole mindset was just that, go make the most of this opportunity. No matter how the opportunity comes, I got an opportunity. So, I just got to go out there and show why I belong.
So in 2022, of course, Jacoby, you were with the Cleveland Browns, and Drew Petzing was actually there. How similar is this offense to when you were in Cleveland?
I think it's very similar. I think talking to Drew, a lot of the verbiage is the same. Obviously you mix and match with the players that you have and the supporting cast that you're building the offense around. So, but from my conversations with Drew, it sounded like it was going to be the same verbiage and a lot of the same things. I mean, I remember when Josh Dobbs signed there, when Drew first got there, and he was telling me it was along the lines of the same verbiage.
How would you describe his scheme? I've heard it described by a lot of players that he really does have the ability to do what he needs to do to attack a certain defense, that very multiple. And if so, how challenging is that as a quarterback to be able to master all those different things that he might throw into a game plan?
I think that makes this position so fun. I think that's what, being a part of this offense when I was in Cleveland was so fun. It's just like, it's so many things that, it's so many different ways that we can attack a team that, it makes it honestly easier on the back end for the quarterback, just because of, why you're running the plays and what we're looking for as far as the perfect looks. And then when you go into, you may have to spend a couple extra minutes and something like that preparing and things like that. But, that's what we're getting paid to do. And I remember when I was with Drew in Cleveland, and, obviously he wasn't calling the plays, but we got a chance to, we go back and watch the film and sit in the meeting rooms and talking about certain plays. And, he brings a unique perspective to the game, because he he makes it simple for the quarterback as far as, you do this part, and then other players, you have to rely on the other players to do their part as well. And I think that was one of the cool things about when I was with Drew before, just like, you may not be getting the bigger results, but the smaller results lead to the bigger results.
So, Jacoby, obviously, you being a guy that's been in the league for 9 years and you're a veteran guy, you've been around, you know what you're doing, of course. What is your relationship? What do you know of Kyler Murray right now?
So not much of a relationship. Obviously, have played against him a couple times. My career on opposing teams, and I wouldn't say we have a relationship right now, just because I just signed, and when I was up there, he was in in South Korea on a trip. So looking forward to build a relationship with him. Hear a lot of things about him, and excited to make our room the best room in the league.
Jacoby Brissett, our guest here on Arizona Sports. I mentioned Drew Stanton. He mentioned last week that when he was behind Carson Palmer, everything he did was in the name of helping the starting quarterback, helping the offense. In what ways do you think you can benefit Kyler? With your experience and what you've done in this league and all the games you played, where do you think all that can benefit Kyler Murray?
I'm interested to see where he needs my help. I think that's where Drew would agree with that. It's just that's where it starts. You gotta open that line of communication up to where, hey, how can I help you? Like, how can I be of service? And then you build, the way that you build that relationship and build that trust through that, and I'm willing to, which you can ask any quarterback that I've ever been in a room with, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to help not just the quarterback, but the team and other players get better. So I'm looking forward to see how I fit in and how we mesh well together and build this thing up.
Jacoby, what do you think are your strengths? What would you list on a resume as your strengths?
I think that's a tough one to answer. I mean, football aside, I like to think that I'm a great teammate first. I always put that as one of the main things that I start with.
That's huge.
To be in this league for 9 years and bounce around, you got to start by being a good teammate. And I think that's one thing that I've always, wanted, that every place that I've left, when I leave, I want, when they talk about me, is to say, hey, this guy's a good teammate. I want this guy around me. This guy helped me get better. I think those things, I try my best to make sure that those are the things that describe me from my peers. I can, on the football side, I can make all the throws. I can play from the pocket. I can throw on a run and things like that. But that's all.
You don't mind running the ball either, do you?
In this league.
You don't mind running the ball, do you? You don't mind running the ball, do you?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm not as fast and elusive as Kyler,
right.
But I think I can pick up a couple yards when I need to.
Jacoby Brissett is our guest. Speaking of running the ball, Saquon Barkley, we talked about this earlier. One of the driving forces, he said after winning the Super Bowl, was trying to prove, you can run the ball and hoist a Lombardi trophy. Mm-hmm. What do you think about the return to the run game to the NFL the last year or two? Do you see that as a bigger emphasis now than maybe 5-8 years ago? Because you just joined an offense that the last 2 years has been number 2 in the NFL in yards per carry, Jacoby.
Yeah, and I think that's a testament of the running backs in that room and the O-line that and the things that Drew and those guys have constructed to put themselves in that position. I think yeah, you're right. I think the league is understanding how much valuable a run game is into a team, into an offense, and ball control, game clock management, taking a little pressure off the quarterback, taking a little pressure off the pass game. I think guys are starting to understand how much those things kind of, they actually do play a point in going out there and trying to swing it for 63 points a game. That's not benefiting anybody when you don't score, then you put your defense back out there too early, and now you're playing from behind. So I think those things are important, and hopefully this year we continue that stat and continue to run the ball well and open up things in the passing game.
A lot of stuff out there about Amari Cooper being available. How'd you like the time you played with Amari Cooper, and what does he bring as a potential receiver?
Oh man, Amari's special. He's been one of the top receivers in the league since he's gotten in the league. I remember my time in Cleveland, just to be able to sit and learn from him as much as I could, and his approach to the game. It was second to none. I thought thought he did a really good job of communicating. I think that's one of the things that been in this league for a while is just you can get a guy that's good at football, but then a guy that can communicate what they're doing and trying to do. I think that sets him apart, and I think Amari did that very well.
Jacoby, I'm so glad you're here, man, and thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Look forward to meeting you guys in person.
Okay, man.
Jacoby Brissett, Cardinals QB too. It is remarkable too, Wolf. You look at it. You talked about his career.
Yeah.
He has a historically low interception rate.
That's right, Paulie.
Ridiculously low. Isn't that the perfect formula for a backup quarterback?
Yes.
You come in, you're not at risk of turning the ball over, knock on wood. You run the offense. You give the ball to James Conner, right? You let the defense. I mean, it's just the perfect. In so many ways, he checks so many boxes as the quintessential QB2.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.